Hey everyone, I wanted to go over real quick my homemade cart for glue pulling repair, or GPR. I basically built it with the Milwaukee Packouts as the base, and then I built the tops and the caster plate out of plywood just because I can build that easily and I don't have to mess with the steel. It does get kind of heavy, but I got some pretty big casters and they roll over all the cracks and crevices in concrete very easy. It's pretty easy to maneuver right now. I mean, I've got it loaded down with just about everything that I'm gonna have on it. And so I'd like to kind of go over it a little bit to explain why I decided to build it, and it is big, but why I decided to build it so big. And the main reason, again, was that everything is here. I don't have to go to another table. I don't have to go to a cabinet. I don't even have to plug in an extension cord for my glue guns. And that's kind of the big thing that you're seeing down there. And that's kind of the big thing about this cart that I wanted. I wanted to be able to have as much glue as I needed to set those huge tabs for lateral tension without having to have, 2 or 3 cords going everywhere. And so I've always used the Sure Bonder, the cordless ones, just because I just kind of prefer them. I don't like having the glue guns that have the battery on it. Just having to lift that all the time. I just didn't care for that. And so what I did, and I'll zoom in later, but I'll just kind of quickly describe it. I'm using a power inverter, a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter. And I had to jump up to a 50 amp hour battery from the typical 35 amp hour batteries that we use for our PDR lights. And I also had to move to a lithium battery instead of an AGM style battery because I didn't think that the AGM style battery would be able to withstand the draw. And then you also can't draw those AGMs all the way down to 0 without destroying the battery. So I decided to go with the lithium. And so since I figured out all the amp draw and everything for 3 guns running simultaneously, and this system works. So again, 500 pure sine wave inverter, 50 amp hour lithium battery, and then I just have this is a charger specifically for this lithium battery. And then I do have just a little power strip so I can plug in 3 of them. That way, all I gotta do is just flip the switch, and within a couple minutes, all that glue's hot. And I put this little metal plate here so I can set like big tabs right here instead of having to hold it so I'm not burning myself. That way I can set the tabs right here, apply all the glue, and again, in case you're squeezing this thing and you need a lot of glue, next thing you know, it only heats up that much, and this gun is toast. And if you don't have another gun hot and ready, well then you're kind of screwed. And so being able to have 3 guns all ready to go, typically 1, maybe 1.5 will set a big tab, and then I'll have the extra half out of here and that other one, another full one, to be able to set the next tab without having to wait. So the time between waiting for the glue cycles is actually 0. And I know for some people it's like, well, that's kind of not a big deal, but I guess for me, I felt like if I was gonna set it up mobile, what's 2 more guns, or what's 1 more gun? I felt like, hey, I can do it. The sine wave inverter will totally handle it. The amperage on the battery will totally handle it. Well, why not do that? So that's pretty much what I did. And then the rest of the card is kind of just self-explanatory. On the back, I made mounts to hold all the lateral tension devices, and same thing here for the robo beam. Pretty much did everything Keco because I don't know, I like consistency. So I felt like Keco had the most consistent products in all the stuff that I wanted. And obviously in the drawers, I'll zoom in later, all the dividers. I like the 4 drawer so I can put everything. I don't know if you can really see in there, you probably can't, but everything's just individually in its perfect place. And the slide hammer. This is actually a piece of 22 gauge metal, as well as this is 22. And I cut it out, clear coated it so that it wouldn't rust. And I Velcroed it on here. I like having this metal plate because I have like magnetic tappers and stuff that I can just throw up there and it'll stick. And then also if you have a phone that has the magnetic thing, it'll stick right to it. So that's what that is. This is a 3/16 steel rod that I got from Home Depot. And I just bent it. I went over to something, I think I went over to the bumper on my truck, and stuck it in there and just started bending it and twisting it. I can zoom in later. And I tie wrapped it right here to kind of make a kickstand. Again, it's crude, but it works. And then also, going cordless, I have the Milwaukee heat gun. It's not as efficient as a corded heat gun. But for real quick, just applying a little bit of heat to the tab and a little bit of heat to the metal surface. Again, trying to stay cordless so I don't have to have cords dragging all over the place, rolling over cords, tripping over cords. And so I have that. And then again, assortment of all the other Keco stuff. But I just wanted to go over that. And I guess what I can do, I can show you how it breaks down. Just take this stuff off here. Take that out there. I'll take all the lateral tension devices off. The KG, the biggest one that they make. And so that removes everything from the top. Now obviously I can remove this rod and close it, but since it's a pack out, I'll just take this off and set this off to the side. And then what I did is, this is just a wall mount plate, and underneath here is the table. And so I just basically ran screws into the table. That way I can just take this whole plate off. So I'll take this off, leave that out of the way. And then from there, just taking that off. That off. And then all you have is this. And actually all this is very light, lithium battery, very light. And now I can take the guns off, put them in there. I mean, for as far as mobile, it's kind of mobile. This is still relatively light. And so again, to put it back together, it's just as you would imagine the Packout system is. You just basically throw it all back together. And that's it. It goes back together. Now, kind of a real close up. I did do these 3/4 square dowels because I did it to a way to where these things can come out, but also so when I'm rolling around, they don't fall out. So that was kind of a last minute thing because I figured if I roll around and start bouncing, they might fall off. So that's what I did with that. So yeah, that's it. A glue pulling repair, GPR homemade cart that I haven't put into service yet. I just built it. I'm getting ready to take it to the shop here in a little bit. So I just want to do a real quick video to share what I did. I hope you guys like it. Thank you. All right, just to do kind of a close up. So this is the metal plate, the 22 gauge steel plate. This is the 3/16 metal rod. Again, I just kind of crudely bent it, drilled a hole, put a tie wrap, and did the best I could. And this again is 22 gauge steel plate. Again, that's for setting the tab, so I can set the tab right on here, glue it, so that I'm not having to hold it, possibly burn my hand. Other than that, I did cutouts, recessed it so this thing would kind of sit flat. This is the robo beam, and again, this little block here, I did it so that this thing could come in and out, but yet it won't fall off this way, because like this one, I was kind of worried that this one would fall out. So that's why I did that little cutout right there, or not cut out, but I added this little, if I'd have really thought about it before I cut the plywood, because I cut these squares out first, and so that was kind of screwed that. So then I added these. But I actually kind of like having the lip, because these little stoppers right here, you can adjust these stoppers on the beams And so I adjusted that to where it kind of sits just right. And then I did the same thing on the bottom. I added the 3/4 so that even something won't fall off of the edge. And there's still space for more stuff. I mean, I can just drill holes anywhere. As if I wanted to add rods, you know, pushing rods or anything, I can add there. I can add it all across there. If I want to add some more lateral tension devices or larger devices, I can add it. I mean, there's space down there to set it. And the reason why I made this base plate that long is just to match the top, just for consistency. And so we'll go down to the glue pulling area and kind of give you a little video bird's eye view. The red box is the pure sine wave inverters, 500 watts. The black box to the left is just a cheap little power strip. This is a charger that's specifically rated for the 50 amp battery, and that's just a lifetime 50 amp hour lithium battery that I got from Amazon. And again, I did put the dowel here because after I put it up there and then put it down here, I'm like, well, you know what, just keep that battery from wanting to fall out if I roll around a lot. And then to zoom in, this is just the table from Milwaukee. And then that's the wall mount. So I just kind of sandwiched the plywood in between the two of them. That way I have the lock and can pull it out. And then this locks in as well. I know some of the tables, they have the slots, but they don't necessarily have the lock. So that's why I did that. And then the same thing, this is the wall mount. And then this is just 3/4 plywood. And these are the heavy duty casters from Home Depot. So everything's pretty much from Home Depot. Just about everything except for the Keco products. And so to go into the drawers, you know, I really like the 4-drawer just because, you know, if you got thinner items, you can just be more organized than a 3-drawer. And so I kind of have it organized in a way that makes sense to me. I try and prioritize where the top drawer is the things that I'm going to use the most. And then progressively, as you go down in the drawers, it's things that I use the least so that I'm not having to bend over all the time. And so, yeah, these are all the curved Kecos. This is their centipede stuff. This is their hinge tabs. These are all the blocks, all kind of different attachments. For the pulling blocks, this is their smaller lateral tension with all the blocks that come with it, little curved ones. Very cool. And then just glue, some extra stuff, extra weights, and then this is this miscellaneous stuff. I did get their K tower, so I haven't set that up yet. So that's gonna be cool to use that. I've used towers before, but the K tower definitely seems like it has some really cool features that I'm looking forward to. That's just gonna be better, I think. So anyway, that's about as much as I can think of to share about the cart. Again, I haven't put it in use yet, but I'm about to bring it to the shop here in a little bit, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, I mean, I'm definitely gonna be using it. We do a whole lot of body damage. So I'll give a review and see how it goes and see if I need to make any changes. But so far, I don't really see any changes that I need to make. But I'll figure it out along the way. Thank you, guys.